Let's try some automatic drawing, you guys, because I'm completely blocked. Just using a Flair felt tip. And I have absolutely no expectations. Just letting my hand guide what I'm doing without any thought at all. Interestingly, I always seem to do spirals or circles. Seems to be my thing. All right, so this is automatic drawing. I've never done this exactly the way I think you're supposed to do it. Which I think you're supposed to just literally not think while you draw. So I'm going to talk to you while I do it so I don't overthink anything, and I just, try some fun. Not really try anything too difficult. No set agenda. And you don't have to care what it looks like, which is hard to do when you have a YouTube channel. And you might hear Sam talking in the background because when I'm talking and there's no one else around, he is sure that I'm talking to him. And he's trying to figure out what the conversation is really about. Or maybe he just likes to hear himself meow because he's pretty vocal. But the house is pretty quiet. And that's why I always do voiceovers, because I can't always count on it being quiet while I'm drawing. In fact, it almost never is. It's even hard to do voiceovers. But the house is mostly empty. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to try this little technique known as automatic drawing. I think I know what is driving my art block, though. I haven't been feeling real well, and I don't want to talk about that because don't you hate it when people just go on and on about their health issues? Because mine are not earth-shattering or anything. They're just inconvenient and uncomfortable. But it does sort of affect things. Just affects the way I feel like drawing and painting and doing art. Sometimes I really don't feel like it because I just, But I think this will be relaxing. It seems like it would be a good way to blow out the cobwebs of your brain. Somebody will probably come along and go, this isn't really automatic drawing or something. Somebody always comments like that. And if anybody ever makes you feel like what you're doing isn't right or you're not doing it the right way, just don't let them rain on your parade. You do your thing. And just agree that they can do their thing and you can do yours. I'm really not thinking about what I'm doing here. I'm just drawing. We'll see what happens with it, if it looks like anything in the end or not. If it doesn't, I don't really care. Today is not about that. Today is about winding down. I think this is automatic because I automatically just do spirals. I don't know why. Maybe I'm spiraling in this haze of artist block. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I never draw with a paper mate. This is a paper mate Flair. I never use these. I had to buy one for my drawing class, and I used it for, I think, 2 assignments, and that was it. But here it is, sitting here on in my like pen caddy. Pen caddy. I don't know. It's not really a pen caddy. It's just a holder that holds stuff. It's not a cup. It's like a pen caddy. I don't know. Don't get pedantic about this. Don't stress out over whether what you're doing is really automatic drawing or not. There's no automatic drawing police that I know of. They're not going to come to your house and say, that's not really automatic drawing. There are probably some YouTubers who might say that, or people in the comments, but don't worry about it. You do you. Sounds like I'm worried about what people say in the comments. I'm really not. If somebody leaves something really hateful, I just hide it. I've only had that happen once or twice. So, twice, I think. But I think that's because I'm a small channel. I think the bigger you get, the more negativity you get. So, I think you've really made it when you start getting heckled. You haven't really made it until you start getting heckled. So, I'm looking forward to the time when I get heckled. No, not really. Please don't heckle me. Just for the heck of heckling me. See, more spirals. I don't know what it is with spirals. I just like them. They feel good to make. It feels good to make them. And I think sometimes art is not only a visual thing for artists, but it's also a tactile thing, almost. I don't know if this would be considered tactile. You know, if you just enjoy drawing something because it sort of feels good. But I feel like that's the whole point of the automatic drawing thing. And I can tell that it's automatic because this isn't taking very long. A lot of times when I do art, it just takes forever because I feel obligated that if I'm going to spend the time, I need to kind of try to plan it out, or at least have something, some idea. I have at least a goal in mind, some sort of goal, like I guess I have a goal with this sort of, I'm doing a video of it. But I'm also not too worried about what it looks like. And usually I am kind of worried about that. I want it to look good. Because it's hard to get excited about a voiceover on a video that the art looks crappy. And it happens sometimes. And you can spend a lot of time on something and it looks crappy. And, it happens. I think I read somewhere that in the olden times before the interwebs, artists had a lot of stuff that they just never showed people because it was bad. And they painted over it, or it just sat in their attic. Or I don't know if they had basements, storage. I'm trying to think of what it would be called, what Picasso would have called his storage. I don't know. But I bet he had a lot of crappy art too. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong about that. I don't know. I like to think that Picasso had a lot of crappy art. But my guess is by the time he was famous, he was so good, really, that even his crappy art looked good. So I've got my earbuds in. I'm listening to music. I've got my Synergy Rock kombucha. This is good stuff. I've started drinking kombucha a lot for my gut, because you guys know how I am about my gut biome. Yeah, I'm worried about it. I only want good occupants in my my intestinal neighborhood. I want good neighbors. If I'm going to have a symbiotic relationship with things that are inside of my body, I feel like I want them to be good neighbors, not bad neighbors, you know? It looks like a bug, kind of. If only I had made the right kind of eyes. But I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just like, literally, I'm trying to be like a little kid. You remember when you were a child and someone gave you had access to a pen and pencil? I always had pencils. I didn't really use pens. Just a number 2 pencil and whatever paper was around. Might be a grocery store bag. Sometimes that's what it was. Or maybe a little pad of paper. For a little while I lived with my grandmother, and she worked at a dime store or at a pharmacy. And it seems like we always had pads of paper around and stuff like that. And there's always stuff to sew with. My mom worked, and I stayed with a neighbor, and she was quite a homemaker. And I remember going with her. It was in an older neighborhood, northeast side of Kansas City, in kind of an Italian neighborhood, I want to say. There were a lot of Italian people in the neighborhood. I'm sure that they were a lot of immigrants. Anyway, I remember going with this lady that I used to, who used to watch me while my mom was at work. And her mother-in-law lived in the house catty-cornered, like behind her house. And we went over there, and they made some kind of, I can still almost smell it, some kind of cookie that they rolled and they baked. And, you know, memory is a funny thing, but when it comes to smell, you can really remember smells. And I think that there was anise, like star anise in these cookies. And unfortunately, I've lost contact with the family. It was when I was a little kid, you know, a little girl. And I don't know them anymore. And I think it would be weird to call them and say, hey, can I have your grandmother's cookie recipe? Because I really don't eat that stuff anymore, but it might be kind of fun to fix for the holidays, you know, like gifts to neighbors and stuff. I think they would appreciate that. I have some really good neighbors. I have some new neighbors I haven't even met, though. I'm the world's worst about that kind of stuff, you guys. Probably seems like I'm snobby or something. I don't think about it. And we do live in that kind of neighborhood where everybody kind of knows each other. And I feel bad because sometimes I'm kind of aloof and I don't mean to be. I'm just kind of off in my own world. And that's how I roll. And I'm not going to apologize for it exactly because that's just how I am. I don't feel like I have to change on other people's accounts. But I could make a little bit more effort. I don't know what made me think about those anise cookies, but I'm pretty sure they are anise cookies. I don't know why I think that, I just do. I wonder if when I was little they said anise, but they spoke Italian. And I did not speak Italian. But I do know one word, mangia. They were always trying to get me to eat more, which is really funny because when I was little, they couldn't get me to eat. And when I got older, they couldn't get me to stop. Now, that's not really true, but that's a little bit true. I think my problem with my nutrition has just been that I don't really like to cook. I sort of started to like cooking, but when I met my husband, he liked stuff like I liked to cook from scratch, but he did not like that. His favorite foods were things like Kraft macaroni and cheese and stuff, and I think that I'm gonna throw my husband under the bus. I'm gonna throw him under the bus. I think it's his fault. No, it really is. It's not. I don't know. It just tasted really good. When you're not used to processed foods, they definitely put stuff in there that makes you want to eat it. But now I'm doing more. I've got a bunch of lettuce in there. I've got stuff to make a really good salad. I need to do that because I will eat on salad all day long. Well, not really all day long, but I mean, when I start to get hungry and I don't know what I want to eat, nothing really sounds good, but I'm hungry, like my stomach's empty, or I feel like I want to eat. There are two things that I like. I like things like lentil soup and salad. And it just kind of depends on the weather. So this is automatic drawing. It's this is my version of automatic drawing. I'm not planning anything. It's just, I kind of like the way it looks, but I'm literally just thinking out loud while I'm drawing. Somebody's going to go, Kelly, why are you drawing all these spirals? I don't know. I feel like spirals just, I think I already said this, they feel good to draw. And they, you know, they've been around forever. I mean, they're in every historical motif. That and fleur-de-lis. Have you noticed that there are fleur-de-lis? I don't know. If you're not really into motifs and iconography and stuff like that, then you probably don't care, but I should get artist block more often because this is actually really fun. And it should be. I think it should be fun, or at least enjoyable. I don't know what your idea of fun is, but I have a feeling if you're watching me do this, this is your idea of fun too. I had a thought just now. I should practice shading with pen. And then I went, no, that would make it intentional. And that would mean I'm not doing what I set out to do, which was my intention was to be completely unintentional. I think I laughed too much. It's probably a nervous tick or something. I don't know. I think my music stopped and I need music, so hang on. Gotta have some good music. I don't know what the deal is. Oh, it's okay. It just starts out soft. See, another one. What is it with spirals? Oh, I just do them all the time. And then these undulating lines. I like these. I started out to use my Pentel Pocket brush pen, and it's out of ink. And I thought that I had more cartridges for it, and I do not. Man, you know, I have so many art supplies. I have more art supplies than I'm going to use in 10 years. So sometimes I don't buy any for a while, and then I'll run out of something and think, wow, how did I miss getting that? But I did. I missed getting my Pentel brush pen. All right, so I'm just going to keep playing around. I wonder if I'll fill this whole page or not. I don't know if I will or not. Sometimes I like making things cross over other things. Like they look like ribbon or something that I'm not very good at doing this, but I want to get better at it. Let's see. I'll just do this. I'll have something coming out over here. Go over there, then this can go under here. I don't know if that's right. Something about that looks a little bit wrong, but I'm just having fun with it. It's okay. Now, I just want to make it, it's fun. I like doing these. All right, guys, I'm going to turn this because I want to work a little bit over here. I want to do some stuff over here and see what happens. Make some little noodly looking, ribbony looking things here. They kind of remind me of a little bit of, my son likes to get, he goes to this place called Noodles and Company. And I'm not a big noodle fan. I'm going to admit it. I don't love noodles. But he brought something home and it smelled so good. This also could be like a big knot. Oh, that needle's kind of, maybe it's a ribbon and it's turned on its side. Who knows? All right. Time for a little kombucha. Here's how I'm going to do this. I have people who have left the house. And when they return, it's going to get noisy. And I'm not going to be able to continue with this. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was so zoned into what I was doing. I didn't realize it had stopped recording. I like stripes too, apparently. I like stripes. When my boys were little, they complained because all their shirts were striped. I don't know why. I just like a good stripe. But to be fair, they weren't just like plain stripes. They were like stylish stripes. They had like maybe the whole shirt wouldn't be striped. Maybe just there would be stripes across the chest. And for some reason, I liked the graphic nature. I know when you say graphic tees and stuff, you're thinking about something else, but I'm thinking about just the graphic nature of the pattern and stuff like that. My hand is cramping. That never happens. That never ever happens. I don't get cramps in my hand. Well, I do when I draw, not when I paint. Okay, so when I get to here, I'm just there. Now it looks like a worm. A stripy little worm. I don't have a problem with worms, I guess. You know, we think we're so brave. And I was thinking about, because of the worms, the last time I touched a worm, I was going to put it on a fishing hook. And I remember thinking, I don't have a problem putting a, somebody asked me, do you want me to put your worm on the hook? I was like, no, I'm not. I can do it. I'm not that kind of girl. I don't need someone to hook my worm. But I did. I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I guess I am that kind of girl. A little bit. No, I think I could get used to it, but I just, in that moment, I could not bring myself to do it. It was just too oogie. Excuse me. So I'm listening to Alan Parsons Project, and I remember listening to that when I was a kid, and I'd be like at home alone, sick. And there was certain music I would listen to when I was sick. I had mononucleosis when I was I don't know if I was in 5th grade or 6th grade, but with my babysitting money, I bought a stereo. I was so proud of that stereo. It had an 8-track, the big cassettes, not the little cassettes. And it was such a good stereo. My dad helped me pick it out. Because I didn't know anything about stereo equipment, and I wasn't old enough to drive. So he had to take me, and I think I got it at Sears. I'm dating myself. Sears was a thing. Sears was a really good thing. I loved going to Sears. It was within walking distance, so I could walk to the mall if I wanted to, but not to bring home a stereo. They were like, no, we'll take you up there, which I appreciated. But anyway, the music that I would listen to when I had mononucleosis, I listened to Kansas Leftoverture album. I think I wore it out. And I listened to Yes, Big Generator. That might have been later though. And I listened to Electric Light Orchestra, a lot of ELO. And I listened to, gosh, what else? Simon and Garfunkel. And there was something we used to do, and this was before pirating was a thing, but, and this wasn't something you only did if you were poor. I mean, a lot of people, we weren't poor when I was in elementary school. We weren't poor, but we didn't have a lot of money, but we weren't poor. And a lot of kids were doing this. I mean, even kids who lived in the big houses in the neighborhoods. It was just a thing. You would listen to the radio and you'd have your 8-track or the little cassettes, and you could record songs right off the radio. So, like, this was before, you know, like now you can stream, and if you don't like the whole album, you don't have to, you don't have to purchase the whole album. Or if you want to stream it, you might only like 1 or 2 songs on a, I don't even know do they even call them albums anymore? But, so that's how you got around that, like not having to buy the whole, although they did sell singles. You could buy singles if you had a turntable. My stereo did have a decent turntable. I mean, I think I'd saved up like $300. So back in like 1976 or whenever that was, I'd have to go back and look. But you could get a really nice stereo for $300. And of course, it's nothing compared to the electronics we have today, but that stereo. Whew, I took it to college, I think, my first year of college. This is not proper hatching. I don't know how to do proper hatching. I need to practice that, but today I'm just hatching the way I feel like hatching. I'm not going to worry too much about it. And like I said, when the team gets home, I am done with this. It's so nice. I relish. Okay, here's something weird. I like having the bed to myself, but I'm married, so that's a rare occasion to get the bed to myself. And I'm always thinking, God, I really would. Sometimes I will take a nap. If I'm sick, I'll take a nap, and I relish that time when I have the bed all to myself. But last night my husband felt like he had a cold, and I woke up in the middle of the night and turned over, and he wasn't there, and it kind of freaked me out because that never happens. He was feeling pretty puny. But I remember thinking, it's gonna, don't wish to have the bed to yourself. Someday you'll have it to yourself. Hopefully in the very distant future, and you won't like it. You'll miss You'll miss it. Do you think this qualifies as automatic drawing? Somebody let me know if I'm doing it wrong. It's okay, you can heckle me. I've got a pretty tough skin. I'm pretty thick-skinned. Like I said, if anybody's really, really mean, I'll just hide them. I don't have it really. There are a couple of other YouTube channels that I follow, and it really bothers me when people make personal, like really personal comments, hurtful comments to people. And probably if someone said it to me, I would just hide the comment, and I wouldn't even care. I would care for the moment. The moment you read something, it's kind of like, oh. But then you kind of get over it and go, especially when you look at their channel and they don't create content, but they have a lot of negative things to say repeatedly to other creators. I don't give them a lot of credibility, but it does really bother me when I see somebody make something really a personal, like really personal insult. And probably the other creators used to it and they don't care. The other creators are used to it and they don't care. But it bothers me. And that's why I hide them. If I ever get any, I'll hide it because I don't want it to, bum everybody else out. I mean, it's okay to make suggestions and say, hey, I think you would do better if you did it this way, or, I've had people comment about if I made the music too loud. That's helpful. I don't like seeing stuff that's meant to hurt people, though. Bothers me a lot. It bothers me. And it bothers me because I feel sort of protective, which, I don't know. It's not like I see it all the time. I don't know why I brought it up. Okay, I'm still recording. Sorry about that, you guys. You have like 30 minutes, which is probably means I'm taking too long and I'm fussing over details, but that's how I automatically draw. Okay, I'll try to be quicker and just do but I don't promise not to do spirals. Okay, just because I know I don't have a lot of time, and I'm probably being too fussy here. Let's see if I can make some just bigger things here. See, if I had the house quiet more often, I would probably do a lot more of this kind of thing rather than the voiceovers, because voiceovers kind of stress me out a little bit. I feel like it's not as natural. But then again, everything has its pros and cons. Okay. I think that this little guy, I am going to do something here, right here. I think this little guy needs a collar. I don't know what kind of collar, just maybe a collar. I realize that's not exactly automatic drawing, but it kind of is. I'm pretending it's a bird, but you know how mallards have that ring around their neck? I think it's mallards. I don't know if that's... Yeah, I know. Don't do that again. In fact, I'm just going to color it all in. See, this is what you don't want to do in automatic drawing, is judge your work while you're doing it. That's okay. It's okay if it has some darker areas already in it, right? One thing I like about this Flair pen is I like the way it colors in. I never would have bought a Flair pen, I can tell you that. I remember them from, I don't know, it seems like one of my sisters used to have like different colored ones. And she did some pretty cool stuff with it. So I don't know why I have a snobby attitude toward Flair pens. It's not very nice, Kelly. Be nice. Don't be mean to the Flair pens. Okay, I'm gonna have a drink of kombucha. Man, this is such good stuff. I love it. I always try to get the stuff that doesn't have a lot of sugar in it. For this whole bottle, 16 fluid ounces, this is one serving, has 50 calories in it. Now, normally I don't like anything, I mean, I don't like sweetened beverages because they're just such a, I mean, I have been pretty aware of some things. Like for a while, when I was homeschooling, one of the things that we did was like when we went to field trips or something and we were going to be out someplace, we would always go by Scooters or Starbucks, and I would get a peppermint mocha, but I always went to Starbucks for the peppermint mocha because it didn't used to matter what season it was. Now they've followed along with everybody else, and it's only during like the winter season that they do it. But that stuff, that's like 3 days worth of sugar in one drink, and because it's liquid and it's warm, you might as well just shoot it into your veins. Oops, I hope that doesn't get me demonetized. I may have to strike that out. Because the bots don't know. They're just trying to keep everybody safe. And that's a good thing, I think. I am getting too fussy with this. All right, let's quit being fussy. Let's go back to this over here where we had it in the beginning. If you want to see what I put this paper down to do two things: to protect my desk and also to help the camera focus. But it gets really gross really fast. I'm a messy painter. I like to splatter and stuff, and so I get paint everywhere. I need to thoroughly clean my desk and stuff like that. Oh, hey, I went to Kathleen Madigan the other night with my family. That was fun. Unfortunately, we had seen the taped special, and it was the same one. It was the same one, but it was different enough that it was good. But there were a lot of the bits were the same. But we got to see Aaron. I can't remember what his name is. The opening act, the opening comic was good. And of course we had a great time just being as a family going and doing it. We rode the tram, the downtown Kansas City tram. That's always fun. I love doing that. And we don't have a reason to go down and just ride the tram, but we did, and it was fun. And I told my husband, I said, this is the most fun I've had all week. And he goes, well, you need to get out more. And I said, I know. And there were some people on the tram who were really drunk. And one of them was a little bit belligerent. It was like a group of people. And he was mad because her name was Barb apparently, didn't push the button in time, and they were afraid they were going to have to ride to the next stop. And so her husband was, I wouldn't say he was berating her, but he was giving her a little bit of a dress down. And my husband said he had to really fight the urge not to say, hey, Barb, push the button. Yeah, you don't want to, as one comic I saw said, don't engage the crazy. I think that's very important advice. Don't engage the crazy. Okay, I'm going to stop and start again because man, this is long. Okay, here we go. It's going to be a very long drawing. But hey, I'm excited to have the house to myself and to be able to just do what I want to for a little bit. What if I fill this little bit with squiggly lines? I've been watching people who are in art school, and there's a girl, and I think her name is Camilla. And she's extremely talented. Oh my God. Talent and drive together. And she was saying what she had to do that week, and I thought I would never survive. I fuss so much over everything I do. I mean, this is automatic drawing, and I've been doing it for over an hour. So, yeah, I would never survive. I thought about retaking, we have a thing at our local community college where you can take the same class up to 3 times if you want to. And I thought about taking that drawing class a second time, but I think it would kill me. I just don't have the stamina for that. Now I'm just doodling, and I don't care. It's going to be doodles now, and that's okay. If anyone doesn't like it, they can go watch somebody else do automatic drawing. And some people probably will anyway. It's okay. Okay, I know what I'm going to do with this. I'll stipple some shading. And my shading is not going to be from any one direction. It's going to be wherever I feel like putting shading, because that's just how I'm going to roll today. And I'm not going to worry if I'm doing it quickly. It's okay. Normally I like my stipples to be really precise, but today, you know what? Today I'm just gonna do it the way I'm gonna do automatic stippling. Automatic stippling. Yeah, I mean, I even get so persnickety about it that I use different pens to get different line weights for my stippling, because I'm kind of a stipple fiend. It's often is my favorite way to shade, because I know I'm doing it right. I feel like cross-hatching is something I need to practice. It always looks funny when I do it. I just need more practice. So I should do that off camera, shouldn't I? Let's see, what can I do? Maybe I'll put some little leaves. Coming off of this. Okay, I have to turn it. Sorry guys. I turn my art. But I'm doing this real time, so. And then I'll put some little beads on this one. There. Well, one thing's for sure, I don't feel art blocked. But that's because I don't care. It does not matter. I don't have to submit this at a gallery or do anything like that. It's not about that. There. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to give this a little bit of dimension here. Make these lines a little bit more. I'm sorry, I'm not talking. I got caught up. I got caught up in the visual aspect of this, so I need to start talking again so I don't get too caught up in trying to make it look a certain way. Pardon me. Let's make it be a little bit more organic. Oh, my music stopped. Why did my music? Every once in a while, my music will just stop for no reason that I can figure out. It just stops. Well, my music stopped and everybody's home, so I guess this is done. And I will see you guys in the next video. Here's how it turned out, and I hope you enjoyed this very different video from what I usually do. And yeah, if you liked it, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Anyway, you guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Smooches. Bye.